This show is proudly brought to you by the #Me Network. Access granted.
Hey, welcome to episode 37 of Access Granted. This is System Error, our monthly, we like to call it a rant session, but we get Mauricio on board and he comes along to Goldings for about half an hour and lets us know what's going on with the world and what's wrong with the world. This month we covered memory card scams, issues with people trying to deliver stuff, delivery companies screwing around, and a few other little bits and pieces of gold that only Mauricio can bring. Rolling, ladies and gentlemen, we are rolling. And I want to capture all the essence. So I've hit record before Mauricio said a damn word.
So you said you could be angry about one thing, but...
I was going to talk about something which I am going to touch soon, but I am angry at this thing here. That is smartphone thing. So this smartphone is brilliant. It's very nice,
it
polished.
It is an HTC shiny one, right?
It's a shiny one,
yes.
But the problem is not the smartphone. I actually like the brand. It's nice and beautiful. And got this, you know what is this thing here?
Some sort of SD card slot or something?
It's a micro SD card slot.
Okay.
You know? So I was looking at the micro SD cards that I have at home, and I had 64 megabytes.
Megabyte? MB?
MB.
What do you got on there?
64 megabytes.
A couple of photos.
Not Nokia, micro SD that came with some old Nokia Series 60s phones from the...
Back in the day.
Back the early 2000s. That's like, for the kids here don't know, like 15 years ago. And that was megabytes. And then I have another one with 1, 2, 8, 16, and a couple of 64 gigabytes. So from 64 megabytes to 64 gigabytes. That is pretty cool. Anyway, I got the card inside this phone, and I said, okay, I'm going to move the apps that I can move into my card, and I'm going to move the maps from Nokia Here Maps, and from CGIC Maps into the card to make more room available in the internal memory, because it's always good to keep clean. And I move everything, and after moving this, then Android decided that it was time to freeze. So the first time it froze, I pushed the power button, it came back, and then it didn't have anything on my SD card. All the apps were gone. And I said, what happened here? So I had the phone in the pocket for now about 10 minutes before going home. When I looked, everything was back there. So I thought, probably Android is checking the file system on the card and making sure that things are there, blah, blah.
So the stuff was on the card?
Yeah, the stuff was in the card. I said, okay, so obviously something happened and it didn't like the apps. One of the apps in the card caused the system to crash and then had to check. I'm going to move all the apps back into the main memory just in case this... So I wasn't moving the second app, and what happens? Crash.
Yeah.
And there was no power button that would bring this thing back to life.
Android says no.
Nah, not gonna turn it on. So I got home, plugged the power. I said, no, I'm actually gonna let it run out of battery, and then I'll plug the power, it will start. But then I decided to search around, and I found if you press power up, power down, and power at the same time that the power plug is plugged, it will force a restart if the phone is not completely crashed. So it did restart, and I managed to keep moving all the apps. So what I was doing is like, I would move 5 or 6 apps, restart the phone, make sure that was working, move everything back, power off, until I moved all the apps out of the SD card, and then I think...
That's a hassle.
Seriously, I was about to throw this thing.
So there was silence there. You didn't see the face.
No, the face was like...
Hulk smash.
I almost got the micro SIM or the nano SIM out of this phone and put on a Windows phone. It was almost that bad.
Not Windows.
But then I thought,
Javas.
gosh, I'm not going to have any apps to worry about on a Windows phone anyway, so that's why I'm not moving it. But I didn't move it. Obviously, Windows Phone wouldn't crash because there's no app there.
So what was it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, the SD card is a brand new one. I only used it a couple of times for testing.
Because I went in to buy an SD card for my phone, and I went in with I'll get the biggest, whatever. and the guy at the shop, Dick Smith, whatever it was, said, "Oh, hang on," and he got his phone out and said, "I'll just check which your phone was compatible," because they had a 64 and a 32.
Yeah, yeah.
Blah, blah.
Oh, you mean
and he
they
went,
can't be
and he went,
compatible?
tippity tap. He said, "Oh no, your phone, your model, your whatever you got, 32 gigs is the thing
Now,
you can have."
since we touched this,
I wouldn't have known. I would have gone.
there are
Here's
differences.
some money.
And you guys are power users. Imagine the other people out there.
But I'm
Yeah.
going to give you a tip then. If you buy memory cards, make sure you buy memory cards from a reputable source. You buy from a good seller that you know, like Dick Smith, or go to a camera shop. Don't buy from
You shouldn't
daily
buy from
use
the markets.
sites. Don't buy from Trade Me. Don't buy from anything like this. Because what happens is that most of these cards are going to be fakes.
As in
Seriously.
So they're a bit of plastic that looks the same.
It's a bit of
And you pop
plastic.
it
It
in
looks
there.
the same.
Nothing happens.
It will have 1 or 2 gigabytes memory
Yeah.
on the card, which is very cheap.
Yeah.
But the control is changed to report back, I have 64 gigabytes. So you put the card in your computer or your camera or your phone, and you have 64 gigabytes. And you start taking photos or whatever. The first gigabyte works fine, and then suddenly when you start using what would be more than a gigabyte, things start disappearing because it just start overwriting whatever is there.
Holy.
The number of fakes that comes through people that import these things very cheap from China and unload on Trade Me or sell on daily use site is incredible. Don't go there. If you see a thing that's too good to be true, it is.
Yeah, true.
Holy moly.
That's one
there
thing.
There you go.
You touch Dick Smith. Oh, we are not in the topic yet, but you touch Dick Smith.
I've never touched Dick Smith. And I've never
Have you touched Dick ever, anytime?
I've never called it Smith either.
Anyway, I buy things at Dick Smith when I need some stuff. It's a shame that they
Exist? I mean, what?
Vegetables.
When I first saw them, you used to go there and you could buy
Electronic-
electronic
yeah,
stuff.
right, yeah.
Transistors and soldering irons and stuff. If you wanted to create a project, you could go there, get the components and make a project.
It was actually an electronic shop back then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
These things disappear. They're basically just a consumer retail now.
Yeah.
You buy TV, sound system, and computers, and if you want anything that's not like that, forget it, you have to go somewhere else. J-Car is a good place. Anyway, I've never bought anything on Dick Smith online, but I decided to do last week because I wanted to buy more rechargeable batteries. Eneloop is a very good brand. They keep the charge for years and they charge very fast.
Years?
Yeah, it's a very good brand. Anyway,
It's good for all those survivalists out there. Grab
yeah, I'm stocking this with my food inside the hills with my... Anyway, they had a deal. 8 rechargeable batteries for $30, which is half price retail in stores. So I said, I'm going to buy because I need. My daughter is using more and more battery for some other stuff. So yeah, bought this online, ordered. That was on Monday. Last week, Monday.
Right.
At the same time, the Fitbit PR guys in New Zealand sent me a Fitbit Charge HR to replace my old one because new one for trial. And like I said, I don't have any Fitbit Surge yet in stock for reviews. I'll send when I have one. The Surge is the smart watch, Fitbit one with this watch.
Oh, okay, right.
And I said, cool. Wednesday comes, I get home, my wife said there are 2 boxes there. And I look at the 2 boxes, they're exactly the same. God, that was quick.
pizzas have arrived.
Pizzas here.
Pizzas
Thank
have
you.
arrived.
Goldings, you were all...
So I get home and there are 2 boxes there.
Right.
Exactly the same. So that's interesting. Where would that be from? I look inside, they both have my address. So I open the first one, is the batteries. So, that's the Dick Smith thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the box
Yep.
saying that Dick Smith. And so, that's Dick Smith stuff. That's cool. How about your glass?
Oh, is it your glasses? Phew, for a horrible moment, I thought it was mine, but it's okay, it's just yours, that's fine. Phew!
The next thing I do, I open the next box. In the next box,
More batteries.
there is a Fitbit Surge inside.
Oh, okay.
And I said, that's brilliant. The guys at the Fitbit PR managed to get one and send to me. And the reason why the box looks exactly like the Dick Smith box is probably because they use the same warehouse for store.
Yeah.
I was expecting a Fitbit Surge. The guy sent on Monday that he was sending one when they had the one.
Yeah.
So I opened the Surge, put it in my wrist, and switch on my Fitbit account. All good. Next morning,
Where's this going? Have you got this?
next morning I sent an
It's
email.
a journey we're on
Someone's
here.
going to
Yeah,
get
yeah. Next morning I sent an email to the Fitbit PR guys.
Somebody's in the shit here,
And
but
said-
I'm not sure who.
Next morning I sent an email to the Fitbit PR guys and say, thanks for the Fitbit surge. And the guy said, oh, you mean the charge? I said, no, the charge and the surge. I haven't sent a surge yet. We don't have one to send. Said, okay. So where's the surge from? The guy said, oh, perhaps someone from sales. I said, I don't know. So I look around, couldn't find anything. On the box where there was my address, there was another label underneath with someone's name in an address in Auckland.
Whoops.
So I peeled that, look at the name, search for this person, a woman, find an office number in Auckland, and I call her and said, hello, hi, my name is Mauricio, I'm from Wellington, how are you? And blah, blah. And she was like, where's this going? Like you guys. Have you bought anything online lately? And she was like, yes. And I said, okay, I want to confirm something before I tell you. What shop you bought online? And she said, Dick Smith. Say, okay, what did you buy online? A Fitbit Surge. Great, I have it here. They said 2 boxes. The second box just happens was something that I was expecting, so I assumed that was fine. If that second box had a TV or had a smartphone, I didn't order, no one is sending, because usually the PR folks send me an email to tell me something is coming.
Yeah.
If the second box had something different, I would, oh, wait. But this box had a thing that the guy said was sending me. So, I contacted Dick Smith online on their website, and I never got a reply. So that is going to lead into my next story. But I contacted them online on Twitter, and then one of the girls contacted me in private saying, can you explain exactly what happened? I said, oh, go to Geekzone, there's a post there with a photo and the whole story. So she went there, she read that, and then she came back and said, oh, yeah, I see what you mean. I think we caught up there.
Yes.
So basically I told the woman in Auckland, say, do not get my box because I already opened it.
Yeah.
So it's not new.
Yeah.
So I talked to Dick Smith. Dick Smith sent to this person in Auckland a new one, and they sent me a bag, a prepaid bag, courier bag, to send back to them today. Yeah. So I sent back to them, and they're gonna basically return to Fitbit because it's open now, and they can't put it in store, whatever. But they caught up, and it was just a coincidence that the box had something I was expecting.
Yeah.
So don't say things don't happen like this. Pizza?
Well, I got sent 2 routers from Slingshot when I was only supposed to get 1, and then I couldn't get hold of them for some reason. It sat there for 2 weeks.
We're having pizzas.
Pizza. If you can't smell or see, you don't have smell-o-vision on your phone.
We'll see you after the break.
And we're back after the pizza break.
Yeah, pizza
Lovely
break.
pizza from Pizza Pomodoro. It's one of the best things about coming to Goldings. To be fair, the beautiful place, wonderful staff.
Yep, you order the pizza at the bar and they deliver it to your table. I mean, it's
Awesome pizza.
In half an hour or less. Pretty good.
Is that what they say?
No, that's the old.
It just is. Well, actually, they said, no, we don't.
they said 20 minutes, but then it was here in 10.
3 seconds later, have a pizza. Okay,
Have a pizza.
Then microwave.
There's one they had out the back ready to go.
Microwave.
Can't imagine there is one anywhere near Pizza Pomodoro.
We have microwaves and we get frozen pizzas and we put in the microwaves and they're as tasty as the real pizza.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
No.
Polystyrene.
I was talking to someone about pizzas the other day and said, I couldn't eat, the big one. And I said, what sort of pizzas do you have? And they said, Domino's or something. I was like, that's not pizza?
No.
That's just an
flatbread with
abomination.
topping.
Yeah. It's just, have a real pizza.
I haven't had a
You
Domino's
should be able to roll it
pizza.
up.
I haven't had a Domino's pizza from what year are we now?
2017.
15.
Because you
15.
Yeah.
No.
He lives in the
15.
future, of course.
I haven't had one for about 22 years now.
Wow.
Wow.
No, you don't. Listen, mate. They've got.
So when
I
did you
was.
have it?
They squirt
I'm
cheese
sorry.
into
I'm not
So
saying
you would have
that.
had it in America when you were in
Yeah,
America.
I'm not saying that the current pizza at Domino's is bad or anything. But I have this thing about I rant, and I have this thing about if I say I'm not going to a place anymore, I'm not. If I say I'm not going to buy it here anymore,
There's a
I'm
code
not.
of honor there. The code of honor.
So it was like January, February in Philadelphia, which means minus 30, minus 20, and it was really, really cold and snowing. I got into the car and I drove to a Domino's place to get a pizza. And I like some easy pizza, like simple pizza, cheese, lots of mozzarella, a cheese, like a margarita thing. I got there, got the pizza, back in the car, drive back for like 5 miles, and that was the worst, disgusting, tasteless thing that I ever had, and I promised that I would never buy another one of them again.
But you're not saying the Domino's pizzas are bad.
I'm not saying that they're bad here. It's just that 22 years ago I didn't like them and I'm going to have them. So don't go there.
So that's a loyalty from another perspective.
Loyalty the other way around.
Anti-loyalty.
Yeah.
I'm loyal to not going.
I wonder if brands have an anti-loyalty program out there.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Anti-loyalty.
I actually have another story with Domino's. I actually almost dropped this.
See, once you turn the tap on, Mike, it just keeps going.
A couple of years ago, 3 years ago, I got a box at home.
Just a box.
A box.
Okay.
From a PR company. It was beautiful.
Right.
It was a bottle of red wine, Chianti.
Okay.
Checkered red and white tablecloth, like an Italian thing.
Nice. Yep.
And a voucher to enjoy a Domino's pizza on us. I said, well, that's cool. Domino's pizza with wine.
Yeah. It's the word enjoy that I find
Yeah, I said,
interesting, but carry on.
let's go and try.
Yeah.
I did try. I did think of, say, well, I'm not going to be paying, so I'm going to try to see if they changed in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I went to the Domino's
What do you
pizza
reckon,
shop.
Madge?
I reckon it didn't change it.
No, it isn't.
Just going gut feeling.
I went to the shop,
Yeah.
ordered the
See,
pizza.
there's a starting place. You don't call it a restaurant, you call it a shop.
Yeah.
I went to the pizza shop.
It's not a pizzeria, it's a ordering station.
Well, really, you don't have, you can't see it. It can't be a restaurant.
Exactly.
You can't even see
Not
it.
a
Anyway,
pizza,
I went to the station.
Yeah. The
I went to
ordering
the
station.
battery station.
Station.
I went to the pizza battery station, ordered the pizza, and told the woman, I'm going to pay with this voucher. The woman looked at the voucher, said, sorry, you can't. Said, why not? I don't know who gave you this voucher. I don't know what is this, so no, not going to do it.
But it has
I
the
said,
branding and all that stuff on it, right? It's a proper voucher.
It's a proper voucher
Yeah.
from Domino's,
So she
from the
can't-
Domino's
she can
headquarters
recognise it.
saying, you know, it's a pizza.
Yeah.
She just said, no, I'm not going to honor it. He said, Domino's gave it to me. No, I don't know it. I've never seen this, I'm not going to do it. I said, okay. I turned around, put that in the rubbish bin, and that was the second time that Domino's had a chance to entice me and
Strike
didn't.
2 Domino's. Yeah.
So I strike 2 Domino's. I don't think they're going to have a
They're
third
not gonna
chance
get a
ever.
third go. And fair enough too, because they should.
Anyway,
The food is
It's
shit.
in the
by the
guise
way.
of a pizza.
It hasn't got better.
That's
It's
what it
just
is.
shit.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
I try to
salted
like...
That's my opinion,
Yeah, true.
but that's right.
Anyway, I told you the story about Dick Smith, and,
Yes.
and to be fair and to be truthful, Dick Smith was really good at, making the things right.
Yeah.
They sent me a paid pack to send that Fitbit back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They sent a new Fitbit to this woman at the same time, and everyone was happy.
So not your old one, but a nice new one.
A nice new one.
Good.
So everything was hunky-dory. Except that I didn't ever got a reply from my initial contact via the website. Only the one through Twitter. The website, guys.
That's not uncommon, is it, nowadays?
Now that's my rant.
Yeah.
Why the fuck people don't answer emails?
And for those at the back that didn't hear it,
Why the fuck people don't answer emails?
that's the universal question of our
So
age,
the thing
isn't
is, you have a nice website.
it? Yeah.
Not that the Dick Smith website's nice, but you say you have a nice website.
Yeah.
Or you have a website. Please contact us. You fill the form and you don't get a reply.
Yeah.
You don't even get an acknowledgement to say we received that, we will look into it,
Auto-reply, yeah.
or even an auto reply saying this we're going to support queue. We already know the support's usually shit, but
But you got nothing.
nothing.
That's not customer service.
That's it.
Why
But that
bother
is not,
having it?
but that's not unusual with any company. Most of the times, I go to a company and I send an email. I don't get a reply. I don't get anything. I don't get.
No.
Just filed straight to trash.
Pissing in the wind, mate. That's all it
There
is.
was a company.
You're just chucking stuff out there, and
Now there is another story. I'm gonna even rant even more.
It's like Twitter, you're yelling into the wind.
Yeah, but on Twitter at least you can contact someone, and if you
Yeah.
look that their account is active, like if they posted the last 2 days, you presume that someone look at that account. So if you send something to them, you expect to get something. In email, you might say, okay, their website's broken, perhaps the website's not actually sending emails to anyone, perhaps the person that used to receive the emails on the website doesn't work there anymore, and the things are just dying somewhere, like going to email heaven. But here comes the
So
story.
you can't see, can you? That's the thing with email.
You have no visibility of this shit.
You send it and go, oh, well, there you
Hope
go.
for the best.
But Twitter, you can, there's a bit of, as you say, oh, well, I know that bloody you're talking to someone.
Good point that you touch it there. You just touched Dick Smith.
But wait, there's more, mate.
Mr. Smith once more. Excellent.
Now, what you touched
And above
was,
the table.
what you touched was, you have no visibility.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the tale that then put me on the war foot with a certain router company.
All right.
Oh.
Years ago,
Are we going to name this company?
no, I'm not going to name because things change, people move from there.
Okay.
But years
You're
ago,
just highlighting a story. It's not the company.
I sent an email to the contact in this company in Auckland, in Sydney.
Like the name, like Mike.Riversdale at, like a name.
No. I got email, sales or support or PR at this company.
Yeah.
I got them from their website.
Yeah.
I don't know why. On that occasion, I clicked the return receipt option. I wanted to know if the guy read my email. I don't know why. I sent an email. I received 13 return receipts from 13 different people inside that company.
Because it would be.
Because the guy, either someone received and forwarded, or that was sent to everyone.
Yeah.
I got 13 return receipts saying such person read it, such person read it, and I didn't receive any single reply.
Well, they all assumed the other guy would have replied. Right?
And also the 13 that sent it are those idiots that didn't see the do you want to send a receipt. So 400 people probably got it. But these are the 13 Muppets that didn't
And then,
stop it.
in
Muppets.
one of the road shows, technology road shows from the New Zealand distributors for this company,
Oh, yeah.
like Ingram Micro, that they do the big road shows,
Yeah.
and then you have all the companies they represent with little stands.
Yeah.
I walked past by this company's stand.
Yeah. Which company was that?
We will say. Now his mouth is shut.
I'll keep going. I'll keep
I
trying.
passed through this company stand, and there was a guy there, and I walked and looked the guy's name on his badge.
Was he one of the 13?
He was the first one that read and he replied. Fucktard!
Did you talk to him? Did you call him out on it? Did you smash him or something?
I felt like getting one of his products and smash on his head. But then they would kick me out of the show and that would be
You're the
bad.
bad guy.
No,
then,
he
you
wouldn't
know?
have noticed, mate. He would have replied. Because then we're like,
Or you forward it on to his manager who would
Yeah.
smash it.
So what's the problem with companies that, no, not only companies, people. People that you send emails.
but are you
taking
expecting a
responsibility.
response from an email?
I'm expecting a response when I know that the person usually is a connected person. For example, I have a telco. They keep me sending press releases, and this guy sent me press release. I met this person a couple of times,
Vodafone?
but a couple of times.
Sparks.
No,
Two
it's
degrees.
not a Spark. No.
Slingshot.
But a couple of times that I met this
We're done in New
person,
Zealand, that's it, mate.
It's everybody.
Yeah.
a couple of times that I met this person,
Skinny.
or I sent an email to this person, he didn't reply.
Okay.
And sometimes he replies. So he's very selective on his replies, which I think is bad. As in, if he doesn't have the answer, or if he doesn't want to tell me something, he could just reply politely and say, hey, I got your email, I don't have an answer. Or I got your email, I can't tell you anything. No, he just goes underground silent, like a nuclear bomb wasted his office. But next morning I receive a press release from him.
Oh yeah, that's just silly.
I mean, seriously, folks. a little bit of work, it goes both ways.
It's talking about being responsible for what you're doing.
Well, if you
Some of these people aren't responsible. They don't care.
Because they want to use everything as a mouthpiece, as a broadcast thing.
Yes.
They don't expect or accept the other way around. They don't expect or accept, input from their constituents.
Well, the word used, it's a use.
Yeah.
To use
Yeah.
or use whatever network.
It's really annoying. It's rude.
Yeah.
It's rude.
Yeah.
It's fucking rude.
Yes. It is. And the answer is delete.
So did you get any outcomes in the end from that Muppet?
And the Vodafone guy?
The sporadically emailed today?
No. I actually mailed him yesterday. Forwarding an email that I've sent him, and I noticed that the date was November 2014.
Wow.
By the way, now we are almost at the end of February 2015, and I said, "Hey, blah, did you get anywhere with this request?" Because 4 months for a request, I think is time enough to say, "No, I didn't go anywhere."
Depends on the nature of the request.
Huh?
If you have said, "Could you come around and paint my house in gold?"
It
then
takes
that
longer.
ain't going to happen. But if
takes
it's
much longer.
yeah, but yeah, it's not really around.
He took a big swig of his whiskey then. I think he's had enough of this clown.
You can't see my glass, but it's now empty. And I drink whiskey while these guys here drink beer. So I can only have one whiskey while they can have like 4 or 5 beers. Is that much alcohol in that?
Well, you're doing okay with your whiskey, don't worry.
Yeah.
So answer your fucking emails.
That's the key. Yes.
So what's
Be
the-
responsible. Answer a damn email.
Or essentially respond, which may not be answer email. Might pick up the phone, might be text, might be whatever it is. Respond somehow. And the worst thing you can do, but it's better than nothing, is actually have an auto. I got it. I'm really fucking busy. The chance of me getting back to you within 3 weeks, 0, and if you go, oh.
If you send an email to someone,
Nothing. Yeah, nothing.
Or
is
refer them to somebody else that can maybe help,
Yeah.
and people, I read somewhere someone saying, look, if it's important, it will still be important. People will chase.
Yes.
If it's just need to know interesting stuff, it will die.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I agree with that. But a little courtesy goes a long way.
Yeah.
A little courtesy. Hey, can't do it. I'm too busy. I don't think that we go anywhere with your request.
Yeah.
Or can't do. Or I'll have to pass to someone else. But at least give some status. Because as you said before, emails, you don't know. It's invisible. Once you fire it, you have no idea.
Yeah. Once it's gone, it's gone.
So, yeah,
So
my
it
rant
seems to
is
be
about that.
universal, isn't it? That people need to step up their game. in
You
terms of
obviously don't have to be glued on email all the time. You don't have to be on the phone all the time. Like, you don't have to be on the phone while you're driving, being an MP.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
Like
That's what happens.
You don't have to, but you can.
you don't have to, but you can. You can't be you can't get away like our noble MP today that said, "Oh, I didn't know there was a crime to drive and have a phone in your hand."
Really? He would have been sitting there when they drafted the legislation.
I think he voted for it. I think he fucking voted for it. We are talking about David Conleth here. He voted for it, and then when he's caught by the police, I didn't know it was a crime. He said,
I spent months debating it in the chamber.
I'm using my
It's
phone.
an
Look
argument
at this.
against the crime. That's
Look at this.
classic. You're not having knowledge of the crime.
Not
is not
knowing
defense.
the law is not an excuse for
Yes.
breaking it.
That's right.
That's how it is.
Yes.
But the thing is, he was driving with the phone on his hand using a speakerphone, and his excuse was, "Oh, I don't have the phone in my ears." But you still have the phone in your hand. You're still holding it while you're
But then
driving.
the police guidelines was it has to be mounted or whatever to the dashboard, right? Not in your hand. Pretty simple.
You can use the speakerphone if it's
Yeah.
mounted.
Yeah.
Using the speakerphone while you have a phone in your hand, you still drive with just one hand.
That's right. You're highly distracted.
So no, there's no excuse for that. Like not answering emails, driving with your phone while talking on the phone.
I'm running out of my favourite beer. Because I do believe Townsend's Old House ESB, I'm about to have the last one in Goldings.
Oh,
I believe I'm about
do
to
they
have
play a
that.
song when the last one?
No, I burp quite loudly.
Wait a minute, you only have 8 minutes.
Yes, I do have 8 minutes.
You have 8 minutes to drink the beer and get out.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to down that beer in 8
I'll do
minutes.
that in 8 seconds.
That's going to happen.
The Alfiro party, you know Alfiro? You know, Karen and Jew, Alfiro, they do the apps for banking.
Oh, yeah.
They're having their 4th birthday party.
Where? Are we crashing it? Are you going there? Let's crash.
Come along.
Let's crash.
But what gets me is 4 years? I'm sure they've been longer than 4 years. It's bizarre.
Ah, it's great.
How long has Intergen been around for? It's a genuine question. I have no idea.
14 years.
So 2001 they were
Yep.
born.
I remember when
Interesting
they
thing.
came here, yeah.
Interesting about Intergen, when they started, their name was Glacier Systems.
I remember them.
You know why?
They did Windows.
Because they did Windows systems. They did apps for Windows, so they called themselves Glacier
Glaciers.
Systems. And I was reading one piece of the story from them that during the weekends, the phone diverted to their general manager, and he used to get phone calls from people asking if they could come and fix the
Fix the Windows.
Have you tried unplugging it first? No, it doesn't work on my
I think back then, 14 years ago, people had a different concept of Windows and Windows.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a broken window, can you come and fix it?
Have you seen that YouTube video? It's not the same, that similar. There's a old fella, to be fair, you know, Abe Simpson type of guy, and someone's videoing, like a daughter or someone's videoing it, and he comes around the corner, and he's sat there at his computer, got a big monitor with a hairdryer, and he's pointing at the hairdryer and doing, moving it around, and then there's lots of, the camera's jiggling because there's laughing going on, and then the camera turns around to the daughter and says, "We told him it had frozen." And he's thawing the computer.
I'm gonna show a picture I put on Yammer today.
What are you saying? The latest.
Ooh.
But what you're going to hear is us laughing.
Yes. Wow, what's that, 95? Windows 95? Yeah, well,
Love
that's
it.
the latest new Windows. Yeah, Windows 10.
Windows 10, but all the icons look like Windows 95 side by side.
It's nostalgia, retro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll come back. It's got a start button. That's a start.
that's what they wanted back,
That's
right?
what
So, yeah.
they want it. They can have it.
Yeah, it
But
just
you
looks
have
like
to
the
have
old one.
that one.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. All right, I think.
Well, thanks a
done.
lot, Mauricio.
Thank
That was
you.
good. Yeah, it was great fun.
Thanks for the laughs.
And now we're vented, we can feel better about ourselves and go on with our day.
Until next time when we have more stuff to
Yeah,
vent, when
then
we're
it'll
like,
tense up again and then...
at least now we're gonna get all the emails, all the replies we need. We're gonna get them. All the pizza. Domino's is gonna improve the pizzas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
So
We're
Domino's
changing
is
the
gonna
world
improve the
here,
pizzas. We're gonna get all the emails back, and I'm not gonna get mixed up boxes anymore.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So to find your email address on GigZone, is that something that people can find? You're on there. If people want to email you,
They don't have to be very clever. It's just my Twitter name at Gigzone, at Fred
There we
Carson
go.
at Gigzone.
There we go.
As always.
So
Let's test this theory if we
If
get
you
some
want to check
reply.
out, see if you get replies, then just send Mauricio an email.
Send me an email and say, hey, are you there?
Yes. See if you get a reply.
If I get an email saying, hey, are you there? I'll come back next time and I'll say, yes, I got your email. Let's see. I'll give names to people. Yeah.
Awesome.
Excellent. Shout out.
If you send an email to Mauricio with, hey, are you there? There's shout outs in it.
Yeah, and I'm going to find something for you. The first one gets it.
Gets a thing, gets a box.
Gets the mix-up box.
Gets the box, and inside could be a Domino's pizza.
Nice. It's a pizza box.
Awesome.
All right.
#me.co.nz